Right, ready? Okay. Larry, look, sorry. Labi. Just
Nice one.
start.
Hey.
I apologise about that. It's part of the game. Labi, you performed the single at New York Sport Aid. How did you become involved in that?
I think the organisers thought that Listen to the Voices was an appropriate song for the Sport Aid message and asked me to do it, and I was very happy to do it. Yeah. It was very good. It was very good. I enjoyed it very much. Chaotic, getting all of those people in the right place at the right time. It was good, yeah.
It was quite nice being jetted off to New York to do it.
Yes, it's kind of things are happening so fast at the moment that I've lost track of where I am and what I'm doing. But yeah, it was good. It was great fun.
What do you think about the whole Sport Aid project?
What do I think about it? I like it because it's a lot of very practical people, not wishy-washy, goody-goody people, but a lot of practical people getting down to the hard graft of doing something to improve things. I think that was the thing that came through to me from the short time that I was with them. You know, they really were working very hard to make things better. And the logistics of putting something like Sport Aid together, getting everybody all over the world to be in the right place at the right time, is incredible, you know, just to arrange it. And I was very happy to be part of it.
Do you think it's achieved what it set out to achieve?
People, whenever these charities, because there have been quite a lot of them very recently, I mean, ever since Band-Aid, and people continuously are wondering whether they're worth it. And some people, for example, are suggesting that, you know, they're a bit passé and we shouldn't go on with them or whatever. I think they achieve something if they get some money together, which is, I suppose, the prime aim. But apart from that, they achieve something just by showing that there's a lot of people around the world who really do want to do something to improve the world. And instead of just talking about it, they're actually getting out there and doing it. I mean, I've heard a lot over the years from politicians saying that pop stars should set a good example to young people. Well, since Band-Aid, pop stars have been setting a very good example. Now I'm just waiting for politicians to follow suit and show a good example as well. Yeah, I think things like you know, the Mandela concert, Sport Aid, Amnesty International, all of those things are really good things to do, and they do work and they are helping.
Do you think pop stars, musicians are becoming or have become more socially aware, or do you think for some of them it is just a marketing ploy basically to sell more singles to get...
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter why they're doing it. I mean, we have to take it at face value that if somebody gives their services for free, we have to accept it. Why try and think of some way of downgrading it? It doesn't matter why they're doing it. They are doing it. They're turning up on the night and they're working for a good cause. That has to be good. I don't see any reason to try and find, you know, niggly things about it. I think it's worthwhile.
But do you think the public are getting a bit blasé about all these star-studded lineups? They've been sport for choice in a way.
I hope not. I mean, it's an opportunity to see a lot of good people working. I do think it's important that the show for the I don't know. I think it's important that the shows must be good. If they're not good, then people won't want to come to them. I think that as far as for the audience, it's almost that the show is more important than the event, which is why I think it's important not to spend the time during the concerts making a lot of political statements, because your being there and taking part is your statement, you know, and that's good enough. And everybody knows what the events are for, and everybody should have a great time, you know.
Now, another recent charity event was Nelson Mandela's 70th birthday.
Yeah.
Your single "So Strong" was about what you saw on television happening in South Africa.
Right.
Did you want to join the lineup on that day?
Oh yes, I'd have been very happy to be there, but nobody asked me to, so I wasn't there. But I was watching it. But if somebody had asked, I would have been there. Yes.
Were you disappointed that you weren't asked?
Disappointed that I wasn't asked? No, not really. I wasn't disappointed or well, not one way or the other. I mean, if they'd have asked, I'd been very happy to do it. You know, I'd have been there to do it. But they had lots of people, enough people to fill the bill, and you can't get everybody onto the stage. You know, there's only so much room on a program. But if I'd have been asked, I'd have been very happy to do it and keep singing the song.
I think it's been quite well documented how So Strong was actually inspired. What about Listen to the Voices?
Listen to the Voices is about the ever-increasing inequality between the people who have and the people who don't have, which seems to be getting worse. With the past 8 years or so, on both sides of the Atlantic, have kind of promoted a system of everybody must stand on their own 2 feet, and for those without legs, tough, which I don't think a lot of people approve of. Internationally, the gap between those who have and those who haven't is ever widening, and for us to do better, somebody else has to do worse. But at the same time, I think that often the people who don't have more dignity than those of us who have, and they're not defeated, and they're not standing around with their hands out all the time. They're surviving. The song is about that.
Now, on your LP, you say, I've written it down here somewhere. I'll find it now. Basically, your LP is an answer to some of the madness in the world. Something along that.
Are you talking about the little quote at the bottom?
Yes.
Men and women of reason and compassion, we need you now more than ever.
Yeah.
Yes, I think we are in an age which is encouraging almost ignorance. I'm not at all in favour of easy answers. Somebody said once, people don't want the truth, they just want the answer. That was Adolf Hitler. Not a very nice man, a very incisive one. And I think there are many people around at the moment who are offering easy answers, and there are rather too many people who are just happy to follow. There are a lot of people pointing the finger, and I think that's a mistake. I don't think that's any way for society or civilization to move forward. You know, I mean, people say, I can always remember Mrs. Thatcher saying that many people are, at one of the elections, she was saying that many people are afraid of being swamped by people from another culture. And at the time I thought, what a way to win an election. But I remember thinking at that time something like 3%, certainly less than 5% of the population, were the people that she described. And I remember thinking to myself, well, if you have a room with 100 people in it, and 95% of them are terrified of 5, 95 of them are frightened of 5, then those 95 people are obviously in need of psychiatric attention. And we certainly shouldn't be pandering to them. That is the kind of ignorance that I despise, that does not lead civilization forward. And I think they are promoting ignorance. And I use that word in a much more accurate way than they use it in the infamous and bigoted Clause 28, for example. I mean, I really believe that there are certain people who are very happy to promote ignorance. What we want is a well-informed electorate. You know, no government wants a well-informed and well-educated electorate, because we'd ask too many questions.
How do you personally feel that can be changed?
How do I feel it can be changed? By education, I suppose. That's the only way that things can be changed. I don't know. I I heard that. Do you remember the film Cry Freedom? I believe they did some market research in the States for that film to see how successful it would be and where the market for it would be. And I believe they found that less than 12% of the American population knew what apartheid was. Now, you cannot blame a group of people for not doing something about an evil regime like apartheid if they don't even know it's happening. What's interesting is that whereas, if that is the case, whereas the media thought it was essential for the American population to know the intimate details of who was sleeping with who in Hollywood or in Washington, they didn't feel it necessary to inform the American people about apartheid. Now, that to me is a matter of education. I think similar things happened here in the UK and probably happen all over the world. You cannot blame people for not changing the world if they don't know what's happening. I think that's the way to change the world. This is assuming, of course, goodwill amongst people, and I'm an optimist. I assume goodwill from people. You know, I have to.